Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be reviewing the sixth film in the Harry Potter series, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. If you are new to the channel, I've reviewed, I think, one Harry Potter so far. I've watched them all, obviously, a million times, and I intend to get round to them all. It's just a case I've watched Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince today, so I've decided to review it. So, subscribe and like for more Potter head stuff in the future. I have reviewed obviously the first and third Fantastic Beasts as well. Again, I need to get around to the Crimes of Grindelwald at some point. And of course, spoilers ahead if you have never read the books or seen Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, obviously needing to watch the first five to understand anything that takes place in this film. Enjoy. So Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, as I said, the sixth film in the series, sees Harry, Ron, Hermione back at Hogwarts, and it's actually the final time we will see them at Hogwarts before the eighth film. And this story tells a lot of backstory on Tom Riddle, the introduction of Horace Slughorn, and a lot of development between Harry and Dumbledore, as well as the unbreakable vow, unbreakable trusting between Draco and Snape. In the case of if Draco fails to fulfill the destiny of killing Dumbledore, which takes place at the end of the film, Snape would have to step in and kill him. And I think this film is absolutely phenomenal. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince is, in my opinion, one of the strongest Harry Potter films. They're all strong, in my opinion, but this one goes above and beyond because it simply doesn't feature Voldemort at any point. Yeah, I mean, yes, there is obviously Tom Riddle backstory, but that's all just little scenes to get the Horcrux information and and the information that we need as fans or for Dumbledore's sake to know what he's up to. And this is where they start to work out that the diaries one, the ring is the ring one. The necklace obviously that they achieve at the end of the film is a fake. That as myself has obviously seen the films, the note is from Regulus Black, which you will find out in the seventh film. And I just think it's such a well put together film. You know, the shots of London at the start and of Ollivander being taken away. You know, the room requirement being used to connect to Diagon Alley. It's so cool how Bellatrix and Fenrir Greyback were the main villains in this film, with a couple of Death Eaters fighting alongside him. For Fenrir Greyback to be this big in the casting level, it's great. You know, obviously the actor being no longer with us, but he did a huge job in this film, and full credit to what he did. Obviously some of the main aspects in this film was Lavender falling in love with Ron, and Hermione being jealous and envious of that. And I think this is nothing to do with the film per se. Well, it is in a way. I think Hermione and Ron is one of the worst decisions J.K. Rowling ever made. And it's the same thing for Ginny and Harry. Because every time you see Harry look over to Ginny and Dean, they look so comfortable together. And every scene they were with, like at the Burrow, or in school where she was like trying to patch up his eye after getting stomped on by Draco at the start. It's so cringy. Harry had more and it's nothing to do with Daniel Radcliffe and Bonnie Wright. They just felt so cringe and they didn't work. Harry had more chemistry with Luna Lovegood, for example, than he did with Ginny. It just felt more natural for him to be on screen with Luna. But the thing for me is he had so much going for him with Hermione. Them two should have been together. And I get it's cliche that they're so close, and it's not really a brother-sister relationship that we see. It's a relationship that works in the sense of they should have been together. There was nothing that ever indicated to me that it should have been her and Rod. If you watch the six films, you can see the anger towards each other, the neglectance of not hugging, but yet she always would hug Harry. She was always there for Harry, even in anger's moments. It was just like I watched this film and I'm thinking, why is she so depressed over a prick? And I don't know if it's Ron, the character, or it's Rupert. I think Rupert of the three is the weakest of the actors. Um, you know, Lavender was a very okay character. It's funny seeing Cormac. Again, he's an annoying character, but obviously being one of the main characters in Peacemaker, I think he's fantastic to see how far he's come. But again, it was such a random thing. It's like Half-Blood Prince, as good as it is, there's so much randomness thrown in, like Lavender, like Cormac, Quidditch being such a huge thing, Aragog's death. Um, that was a funny scene. I loved how they managed to find a way to manipulate Slughorn and they used it through Hagrid. Um, and yeah, just everything about this film, from the build up to the scenes to the development in characters and the love triangles and romantic side of things. Um, as I said, the flashbacks and the scenes between Harry and Dumbledore were some of the best in the film. But for me, the scene that stands out the most to me will obviously be, the scene where they go and get the Horcrux. They come back. Draco fails to obligate of what Voldemort wants of him, follow through with the request, and ultimately Snape, without hesitation, but you could see what it means that Dumbledore is basically asking for him. He's basically saying, please, just get it over with, do it, you have to do this. And Snape just kills him, and it's the biggest scene in Harry Potter up to this point, because Dumbledore is dead. Snape has declared himself an official Death Eater, and he's broke that trust that we know as fans and to Harry. And I think it was such a powerful moment because everyone was down at the bottom, over Dumbledore's body. And Harry was the only one to go and comfort him and actually touch his heart. And, just to see him dead, it was such a crazy moment to have gone this long with his characters, and to see him die, it was so emotional, I think. But again, for a scene that actually stood out for me as well was in between that bit, and it was the bit where he obviously was revealed that Snape was the Half-Blood Prince, and he used the Sectum Sempra spell that obviously he used early in the film, and Draco and almost killed him. But it's such a good scene because as Harry Potter fans, we know, and if you've seen his actions through the films, he helped him out of Prisoner of Azkaban. He has looked over him in other scenes, and you see how much Snape doesn't want to fight him. He pushes Bellatrix away, he tells him to go away. He leaves Harry because he truly doesn't want to hurt him. You could see the pain and torture in just how Alan Rickman played it to perfection. I want to say that. What I don't understand is what the Half-Blood Prince story was into play, because it never comes into play really. But it's a nice little extra thing that aids Harry for his story of getting liquid luck, and helping out with all the story with Ron being confident in Quidditch, and then Ron was dying, and getting the memory from him. And everything about this film was brilliant, as I said, from start to finish, from the introduction of Slughorn to the last scene, of which was it was the obviously the destruction of Hogwarts. I genuinely can't remember how it ended. Oh, it was in the astronomy tower. Is that where it is? I think where Dumbledore died. Yeah, ended there, and then obviously they basically explain how they're not coming back to Hogwarts, and Harry being a dick saying he's going to take on the world by himself. So yeah, Hermione, Ron, and Harry declare themselves no longer returning to Hogwarts because it's pointless, because they need to put an end to Voldemort, and it just perfectly tied up what these six first films were about. It was about obviously being kids going to a school that ended up being something bigger than all three of them could ever imagined. Now losing a second father figure in two films, in Sirius Black and Dumbledore, and it just being a huge impactful moment for all fans around the world. So yeah, Half-Blood Prince, what an incredible 2.5 hour film as well. It don't feel like it doesn't, because there's nothing that bored me or droned out. So for me, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince gets a 10 out of 10. I said there was a few issues, like saying the random introduction of Lavender and Cormac and Romilda Vane, but everything else about this was fantastic, incredible, truly a great setup for the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2. So if you've never checked out Harry Potter and you are wanted to try it out, do go check it out, because Harry Potter is one of the, if not the greatest franchise in history. It is just so wonderful and magical. I love the music and the visuals and the shots. The casting is brilliant throughout. And I can never get bored of these films. They are truly some of the best works you'll see. And I hope one day we get more films that are like this, that make us feel for a world and the characters and the building that we are, enjoying. For as many films as we got, to get 8 films and to see these 3 especially grow up in front of our eyes, it was truly magnificent. I believe this was the first film where we see them become adults in a way for the first time ever. So Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, 10 out of 10. If you agree, let me know. If you don't agree, let me know why. I think Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince is very underrated, underappreciated because of Ralph Fiennes' and Voldemort's absence. But I think Bellatrix carries the villain role very well as Snape. So I'm very satisfied with what I got from the 6th film. I will be reviewing the first film to the 3rd, the 5th, and the part 1 and part 2 at some point, as well as Crimes of Grindelwald, as I said, as I do love these films and I want to be talking about them as much as possible. So if you want to see any more videos in the realms of Harry Potter or Fantastic Beasts, be sure to let me know down below. I've made quite a few talking about the future of Fantastic Beasts, and maybe we'll make more in the future. So until then, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and I'll see you next one. Goodbye.